Welcome everybody to my 2020 movie review. I'm back. I'm gonna give you my top movies of the year. I'm gonna give you my top 5, but I'm just glad you're here. Hope I've been safe and COVID free, but right now, let's get into it. So I had 17 movies I really liked out of the 53 I saw this year. And I took that 17 down to 5 that I really liked. But I'm not gonna play you. I'm gonna show you the other ones. So here are the other 12 movies that didn't make it to the top 5, but it's still good movies nonetheless. And I saw a lot of good movies. I saw a lot of shitty movies, but I saw a lot of good movies. So I'm not gonna talk you to death yet. But anyway, a lot of the movies I watched were just out of pure boredom. Some movies I really wanted to see, but I think I did a good job of going through the movies I liked and the movies I disliked. So part 1 told you all the movies I disliked. Just go read that list. I didn't really want to talk you to death about that, but I'm about to talk you to death about these top 5. So right away, let's get into number 5. The 5th best movie I saw last year was Ava. Now, Ava came out in September, so I streamed it before it got to Netflix. But don't come for me. Don't come for me, Argentina. You know what I'm saying? But I thought the movie was, I like movies that are straight to the point and you don't really need so much of a meaning or a plot. Some things just make sense. But this movie actually had a decent plot. I didn't like the ending. You know, I felt like the ending was so open, just in case they want to do another one. But Ava come in, what's her name? Jessica Chastain did a really good job. And the villains that they had in there and the person who trained her, like that was a good back and forth, good thing. So I enjoyed that. But that's my number 5 movie, Ava. Coming in at number 4, I only watched this movie because Wonder Woman 84 was so shitty. So shitty. That's the only reason why I watched this movie. But since the movie was so shitty, I ended up watching Soul. So at number 4 is Soul. Like, I had no desire to watch an animated movie by Pixar that wasn't Monsters, Inc. or The Incredibles. But here I am. I'm like, man, I need to get this bad taste out of my mind. So I watched number 4, Soul. Had Jamie Foxx in it. And it was just a really good movie. Like, I don't think it's a kid movie, but I understand it's kid friendly, but kids ain't gonna understand it. But I want to tell you something. I thought the meaning of the movie was basic as hell, but how they use certain meanings in the movie, like you can finally get whatever you've been wanting your whole life and be happy but unfulfilled. Like that was dope. Like, okay, I fucks with that. I fucks with that. But I ain't gonna really talk you to death about that. I really am gonna talk you to death about my top 2. But coming in at number 3, now I know people gonna be like, it's a documentary, it's not a movie. Bump that. This is the 3rd best thing I saw this year. It's Console Wars. If you haven't seen it, please go watch this movie. Documentary. It's about a look back in the 1990s when Sega came in and forced Nintendo to be better, like in their battles and their evolution from regular Nintendo to Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64 to Sega CD. Like, it was awesome. With Dawn Dreamcast and PlayStation, it was awesome. It was something I needed to see. It was really good. I just found out it was produced by Seth Rogen, so shout out to him for wanting that out there for the people to see. And I just love that movie. That's something I hope to show my children, like, oh, this is the stuff I was really hip to, and this is why. So without further ado, let's get into these top 2 movies. Coming in at number 2, I really only watched this movie out of just because the way his face looked in a commercial and then in the poster, like, I'm like, what's going on with homie? Like, so I saw it and I was like, man, this look like this might be really good. I'm like, Russell Crowe may be on to something. Unhinged. If you haven't seen that comedy of a movie that's not a comedy, please go see it. Please watch it today. The way this man was fucking her life up, all because she didn't give him a courtesy honk. Man, I felt that in my soul because I have road rage and I don't give courtesy honks. I just, like I tell my youngest daughter, I'm like, my car get horny sometimes and we gotta blow it. We gotta blow it. Not like that nasty. But I just really enjoy this movie. Like I wasn't expected to be fast paced, hard hitting, action, actually a meaningful storyline behind the character that Russell Crowe played. Like just this dude was just crazy. Like, so basically, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna give you a little synopsis. It starts off as her taking her son somewhere, and Russell Crowe was having a bad day already, and he didn't go at a red light, so she blew the horn at him really long and hard. Pause. And when she blew the horn at him, he didn't move. So finally he moved and he pulled up on side of her and was like, you couldn't just give me a courtesy honk? And she went off on him, and the movie just took off of that. He ruined her life because he was already having a bad day and she blew the horn too much, too long, too hard. So that is an excellent movie. I'm not saying it because like the acting was great. I'm not saying it because it was written cleverly. I'm saying just that movie just resonated with my soul of you could be having a bad day and be in traffic and everything could go hell from after that. Like, shit was great to me. If you haven't seen Unhinged, go watch it today. Now, my number one movie is something that definitely came out of boredom. I was looking for something to watch. Couldn't find it on Netflix. Hulu be having too many commercials for me. So I was like, man, let me go on Prime. So I'm on Prime and I see this movie called Arkansas. And I'm like, well, I mean, you got some people in there I know. So you got Clark Duke in there. You got the other Hemsworth brother. I can't think of his name. I know it's, it's not on this paper. I put it out. It's not even on this paper. But it's not on this paper. And then, so I started reading about it, and they told me it was based off a true story about drug runners. So I'm a sucker for a good drug movie. So I started watching it. And as I'm watching it, I'm sitting up like this. I'm on my phone and whatnot. And then the story started picking up. And I'm like, oh, shoot. This is actually pretty good. Like, oh, man, Clark Duke directed it, and he starred in it. And I was like, wow, this storyline is very interesting. And so I started reading about it and whatnot. If you don't know the story, please go look it up. But maybe I'll put the story in the comment box below. But just a good movie based on true events about these two guys who end up meeting because they were drug runners. And it was just really, they were just really, really, really naive, but needed the work. And they end up having to work together and live together and operate based on the boss's instructions. And they had never met the big boss. You know, they met like the capo, the underboss and whatnot, nothing like that. But that movie was great. It's long too, but it's got funny parts in it. It's well directed, it's well written. They got these funny Arkansas accents, but I just looked up today, the movie wasn't even filmed in Arkansas. I didn't know that until I looked it up today, that it was filmed in Alabama, but that doesn't matter. But anyway, so those are my top 5 movies. Ava, number 5, Soul, number 4, Console Wars, number 3, Unhinged, number 2, and Arkansas at number 1. I wanted to put some other stuff that was in my list in the top 5, but I kind of just decided against it. But I did see a lot of good movies. I'm down from the year before. I think I saw 70 or 72 movies, so I've been slacking. So next year, let me see if I can get 80, close to 100 movies watched. So we'll see. I'm going to start January 1st and see what I can start watching and accumulating in my mind. But that's all I got for you. This is my 2020 wrap-up review. The 5 best movies I saw in 2020. Let me know what movies you saw, and if you've seen any of these movies I mentioned, please, please, let's talk about it. Let's discuss. But in the meantime, until the next time, until I see you, please like, please subscribe, and you know what I always say, stay COVID free. But don't forget, I don't care what year it is, what day it is, eat more chicken.